Alright, I expected this to be a way higher scoring game, but the Pacers couldn't generate any pace in the first half, and a lot of it was the Cavs' usual defense. Their reds and rotations just kept the Pacers on the outside as much as possible, so without anything easy inside, they just couldn't establish a rhythm at all. The Pacers' offense just got too stagnant, and the only positive was really TJ as soon as he subbed in, because he at least tried to match the Cavs' pace by pushing the rock every time. He found a few quick duck-ins in transition, but that was about as good as it got for him, and that was a contrast compared to the Cavs, because all those stops were generating constant pace for them to play their game. A lot of it was Mobley being aggressive to get downhill whenever he brought the rock up, or their guards manipulating the SNRs and DHOs, so they were always touching paint for sprays or drop-offs, or to unlock their drive and kick. If anything, they were getting good looks throughout and were just missing a lot of their usual makes, so the Pacers were fortunate to only be down 13 by the end of the half. But the Cavs were just as fortunate their turnovers didn't hurt them as bad as they could have, because once the Pacers started pressing them 94 feet in the third, those just started compounding, and that was the start to their downfall. I don't know if it was because of Hallie leaving the game or what, but it was obvious the Pacers' sense of urgency kicked in, and their defensive effort just turned way up in all aspects. It was showing on their ball containment, their fight through screens, their rotations, and especially on all those backcourt turnovers the Cavs were committing, so those constant easy ones started gradually creating momentum that flipped the game quick. A lot of it was stemming from that second unit, and that was surprising to see, because it's usually the opposite on the road, but they managed to outplay the Cavs bench. At least the Cavs tried to course correct with their defense in the fourth, but Siakam and Nembhard just made timely balance to keep the Pacers up, and they weren't even making any buckets on the other end, so the stops wouldn't have mattered much. Don might have been the only one to break the press late in the third, but that wasn't going to salvage their offense, because once they lost their rhythm, they could never get it back, and the only positive was the whistles for the rest of the half. They couldn't even crack 90 before garbage time, and LeVert randomly elbowing Thomas Bryant shows just how frustrated they were, but I actually think this is a good loss for them, because at some point, they needed some adversity to see how they respond as a team. It's easy to be up when everything's going right, but the real test is seeing if they can maintain that same energy when something goes wrong, and they've got a chance to get their get back in Indy. Just watch the tape.
Nembhard has 17, and the Cavaliers want a timeout.